welcome to another episode of the Fomoball podcast. This is episode number 10, and probably it's a special one because we're going to be talking about the UEFA Champions League with two people whose clubs have no sense in it this season, at least to an extent. Vibhas, my friend here, has a club playing in the Europa League that's like right below the Champions League. We don't play Champions League. We won't play next year Champions League. Probably next to next year, maybe, but again, big shots. But anyways, so we're shooting this episode like after both the quarterfinals for the Champions League as well as the Europa is completed. So just giving a brief to the audience. Champions League started off with two blockbuster games. It was simultaneously played, which I don't understand why they do it. Like at least quarterfinals can be played like different time slots so that people can watch. But anyways, the first game was Real Madrid versus Manchester City, and then the same time we had Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. Both games ended in a draw, but it wasn't your ordinary draw. It was I should say it was like you'd never know who's going to win. Like in both instances, like at one point we thought like Manchester City was dominating Real Madrid, but then they got one back. In this like in Arsenal Bayern fixture, we thought Bayern was going home with 3 points, but then Arsenal ended up drawing. So that was the I think that was best like 90 minutes of football we've seen in the last couple of like days, because we've had like high intensity games. And the best part is I remember Vibas was toggling both screens to see. He was updating us on the group like this happened. So
As you said, having City versus Madrid and Arsenal versus Bayern at the same time is
yeah,
criminal. I mean, I know it's done every year. It was just, but I think you're right. They can at least have different time frames for the two matches, at least. But I think it's something about fair play or something that makes them have it. But it's not a group stage anymore. So
exactly. Yeah,
maybe yeah, I don't know the logic. So it was absolutely criminal because I'm not saying the next two fixtures were any less. We come to that, of course,
yeah,
but these were the OG fixtures of this
exactly.
draw, man. City and Madrid and Arsenal and Bayern are happening at the same time was pretty criminal. But fortunately, I have a monitor, so I managed to watch them
Exactly.
on two screens. So yeah.
Correct. But no, of course, the fans' dream is to watch one game in like total focus. He wants to do that, but like nonetheless, like at least you were able to catch
See,
both.
I think it relates to what you said in the beginning. As my team is not playing in the UCL, I
Yeah,
think it helped me better in playing, watching both matches. I mean, if Liverpool was playing one of the matches, there's no way I would have been watching another match, right?
exactly.
But as my team was not there, I was like, oh, let's watch both matches. It's neutral. So
Yeah, and the best part is we can support, like of course we might have our biases, but we can support either of the team, because I remember even the
yeah,
City
yeah.
Madrid game, it wasn't like I wanted City to win or Madrid to win. Like of course, like we've lost to both of them,
It's
so
it's not like last season. Last season I was actively rooting against City because they had never won the Champions League and I wanted them
yeah.
to stay. But now they won the UCL. It's like fine if it happens again, it happens again. So yeah.
No, but no, but the thing is, like to an extent, I wanted like Madrid to do well, like because like I don't want City to win again back to back. Like that's what I initially thought. Okay.
I don't want them to win City back to back, but
Yeah.
now the sheen of the thing that City has never won a UCL has gone. I
Yeah.
just actually don't want PSG to win it because they're the only team right now who has never won it. But we'll come to that later. That's yeah. So,
Yeah.
go
So,
on.
anyways, so just to give another introduction, on the second day as well, we had two amazing fixtures. PSG took on Barcelona, and that gives memories of La Remontada for some people. And then the other fixture was, I think it was Borussia Dortmund taking on Atletico Madrid. I think that was like, I mean, no
Same.
offense to either the
2-1.
club, but that was probably the slightest, like in comparison to these three fixtures, that was lesser. So probably people might have skipped it. People might have seen PSG Barcelona because bigger clubs, and of course like folks coming back playing, and so probably the second day as well was amazing, but I caught the PSG Barcelona game in its neutral, like in its
So
complete.
what I like about the thing second is that both scores ended 2-1. Okay, and I think yeah, both of them were 2-1, right? Yeah,
No, this
both of
was
them were 2-1.
3-2 and it was 2-1. Yeah, but both
Okay,
had
I
like
mean,
a
I
good
mean,
game.
one goal difference. Sorry, my
One
bad.
goal
One
difference.
goal difference in both the
Yeah.
games. So it might not be a draw, but that's the beauty of two-leg games, right? A
Yeah.
one-goal difference is not enough. We have seen countless times people and teams just overcoming a one-goal difference, especially with the away goals rule gone. I mean,
Exactly.
I have a small monologue about that. I think I posted this on the group also. If we had away goals rule right now, this would have been insanely more interesting. because
Exactly.
it might have ended in a draw. But let's take the match Madrid versus City. It was a draw, 3-3.
Yeah,
But City scoring three away goals would have been a factor there, right?
exactly.
And if let's say the
Bayern Munich.
second leg also, yeah, same with Bayern Munich. I think it was a home match
2-2.
for Arsenal, right?
Arsenal, yes. So Bayern go home
Yeah,
with like two away goals. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, I get the other argument also that if the rule still existed, teams like Madrid would have played more defensively at their home. So there are pros and cons of that rule, but I'm of personal view that that rule added more excitement rather than what FIFA and UEFA feel that that rule actually leads to more boring matches, right? And I think they might have a reason for that, but personally I feel that having that away rule added more excitement, that you need to have go to the opponent's lions den and score more, not just have equal points or whatever.
No, that's what that actually brings me back. You're absolutely right. Like UFR looks at to improve the competition. They want to make it more interesting. This was like hella interesting. I remember teams used to win and like draw, like and lose. All three combinations are
Yeah,
possible because, of course, like if it's a two-legged fixture, you could.
exactly. It's more interesting with this rule, is what I thought. I mean,
Yeah,
you could win. I mean, you could draw and you're like, oh, fuck, we're out. So yeah.
exactly. So you could like legit draw both fixtures, but I don't know, like have more away goals in one of
Yeah,
like
it
that.
could be 3-3 and 2-2, and the team who scored three away could have
Three away
won.
goals go exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's what.
I understand the away goal rule not being during COVID fixtures because that was a different time and crowds
Yeah.
were not there and home and away did not matter. But now that we're back to normal and home and away crowds and the whole hype about Madrid and Santiago Bernabeu, that closed roof and everything,
Exactly.
they try. Obviously, that does prove that even Madrid believes that there is a hype about the home crowd, right?
Yeah.
And we know that. I'm a Liverpool supporter, man. Anfield crowd, we talk about the Anfield crowd and everything, right? So a home crowd does help. So, but then it is what it is right now. So no other goals right now.
Yeah. So okay, so let's take one fixture at a time. The Madrid City game, I remember a couple of things before the match was of course closed doors. UEFA gave permission.
Close
Madrid
roof,
players
yeah.
personally asking everybody in the stadium to wear white, and
Yes.
they did all this, and they still ended up conceding first. But of course, like you said, fans make a difference, and that's how you saw them score like two back-to-back
Yeah,
goals.
I mean, when Madrid scored, I mean, sorry, Madrid conceded first. My first thought, and I said this to you also, that Madrid's defense is so damn open, man. And I know it's always like that in La Liga, but maybe they can afford it in La Liga because it's La Liga. But in UCL, you can't have that much of an open defense. And I get they have injuries. They have Alaba injured, they have Militao injured, and they have to play Chomini at centre back. But even then, the tactics I found a little. It's like you can't keep the defense that open. You can't play that high of a high line against Manchester City. It
Yeah,
does not end well, right? Especially when you don't have your first and second choice centre backs starting. Alaba was injured and Militao was injured, and obviously Nacho is old now, so you won't start him. And Giovanni is a great player. He's a great midfielder. He's a decent centre back, but in a big game like City, you don't want such a high line. But it's Madrid. I think everything works for them is what I'll say. So yeah, the first goal Bernardo Silva scored, and I was like, damn, it's just 4 or 5 minutes. This is going to be. I think Madrid will just uh, capitulate and lose. But I think a lot of people replied to me saying it's Madrid. You just can't count them out, and that's what happened, right? So yeah,
exactly. Even the Liverpool fixture where Madrid scored five, they came back. I think, like of course they drew
let's
badly
not
before
talk
that.
about that fiction,
No,
man.
like no, like just
It's
saying that
for
the couple
me.
of,
Yeah, I know. I agree. It's just sad for me that
yeah,
Jurgen Klopp's last UCL match at Anfield would be a 5-2 defeat to Madrid.
yeah,
But it's also kind of poetic from a neutral sense because we have been great in UCL under Klopp, but one team that has always been a bogey team has been Real Madrid,
yes,
right? And Atletico Madrid, any Madrid team basically. Once we lost to Atletico Madrid too, because we have done great in the UCL. We've reached three finals, only one of them, right? And reached one quarter final apart from that. And all of those times we lost. We lost to either Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid. There is no other team. And uh, and we once lost to Real Madrid in the quarterfinals in the COVID season too, 2021.
Yeah,
So Madrid has always been the bogey team for Liverpool in the club. So it's kind of poetic, but it's also very sad that it had to be 5-2 because I know it was last year, but I remember that game very well. We went 2-0 up
exactly.
within 20 minutes, and I think this is thing that never go up against Madrid. Never go up. Always come back from behind. Because you go up, they're gonna come back. And they just didn't come back. They obliterated us. They won 5-2. And there was no point in the second leg. They should lose 5-2 to Real Madrid. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
what happened.
the reason why I said that is because I remember in that match as well, Liverpool playing at home, they took a lead of 2-0. Everything was going their way. And then finally Vinicius Junior is like, fuck it, I will take a shot. And that's what that triggered the reaction. Here as well,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same thing. Like they went 1-0 down, and then it was individual brilliance, and then that's how they ended up with the first goal. And of course,
Yeah, I
that
mean,
led
the first goal was a little, it's
deflect.
officially an own goal. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
officially an own goal. So that was a bit of luck, but then who does
Yeah.
not have luck? The second goal was by Rodrigo, if I'm not wrong. No, it
Yes,
was
that
Van
was
Dijk.
also a slight deflection of
Yeah,
Akante. Yeah.
but I think they went 2-1 up, and then City had two more goals from their side. Phil
Yeah.
Foden, absolutely brilliant that goal from Phil
Amazing.
Foden, and when Foden scores a goal, I'm like, no one can beat that. Then came Valverde. Then came Valverde. I mean, the thing about City Madrid game was it had absolute banger goals.
Yeah.
It had some even
Guardiola. His goal was also
yeah,
amazing.
Guardiola, even
Yeah.
Guardiola. So City had
Guardiola,
Guardiola and Foden. And it is his first goal for City
I
ever.
don't I know you heard, but like Guardiola did what Gomez has been trying like every single game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll come to Gomez. I'll talk about
Yeah.
Liverpool in the end by
Yeah,
the
yeah,
end
of
of the
course. No.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Guardiola goal was really good. But and then Freddie Valverde, man, that was an absolute banger. So that match had banger after banger, and
Exactly.
I I don't think I'm wrong in saying that right now, City and Madrid are probably the two best teams in Europe, right?
Exactly.
And that match was befitting of that title because they played like that. One moment it's one team, the other moment it's other team, and it's level. But what I think might go against Madrid in second leg is that it's Etihad, right? And City and Etihad is another, it's different gravy, as they say, right?
Yeah.
They have not lost in a long, long time, in Europe at least. The last time they lost at Etihad in Europe was to Liverpool in 2018, so it's been 6 years, right? So, that's the only thing that might go against Madrid. And the best they can, I think the best way for Madrid is to just draw the game and go to penalties because
Yeah.
Edison is not there right now for City, right? So he's on the bench. He might play. I don't know,
Yeah.
but because Etihad winning at the Etihad, we drew at the Etihad, I know, but winning at the Etihad is damn tough.
Yeah. And plus last season as well, we saw when these two teams played in Etihad, City did not just win. They gave them a thumping, they sent them back to Madrid. So
Yeah, I mean, see, I think after the first leg, Pep would have been very happy with City, and Ancelotti would have been very sad for how it went out. Because if
yeah.
you saw last year's UCL, that was Pep's MO, right? Just hold out the away game and roll them over in this home game, right?
Yeah.
Normally, Pep tried to settle for 0-0 draws in the last year. This year, City's defense is a bit iffy. So I think a draw would have been a very satisfactory result for Pep as a City manager. That hey, we have drawn the away game. Now we can do our thing in the home game. Because
And
that's what Pep. Ever since Pep has stopped overthinking from after he lost the final to Chelsea,
yeah.
his MO has been let's just hold out in the away game.
Yeah.
We don't want to win, but we don't want to lose. And even if we lose, I think that's what happened last year. Even if we lose, only by one goal, not more than that. So
Hmm.
he drew. I think that's where City have the advantage there.
Anyways, in a week's time, we'll see whether it'll be Real Madrid or City. The only thing that I'd like to say is like I remember Real Madrid has always been there. It used to be like teams challenging Madrid. It used to be Bayern. I think now, given the standards that Bayern has fell off, it's Manchester City that can stand up to Madrid. Like
Yeah, I think
challenge.
City versus Madrid has happened for 4 consecutive years now. So yeah, I mean that's I know Liverpool and versus Madrid also happened 3 consecutive years, but then we fell off. The we don't we're not in the CL this season. So City and Madrid are the European teams, and that's the European battle right now.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. And you're probably going to see them in upcoming years as well. They'll make it
yeah,
an
yeah,
that's
because
for sure.
even when Pep leaves for City, and even when okay, even when Pep leaves for City, I think they'll continue to be successful unless the charges work, which I highly doubt
Yeah.
it, by the way. Uh,
But
because yeah, obviously Pep has had a very huge role to play in City's success, but they've built a system, they've built a structure, which I think will help them. So in the years to, and obviously Madrid is Madrid. They managed to get some XYZ coach who will do very well. I think it's going to be Xavi Alonso. Okay.
yeah.
I think the reason Xavi Alonso is holding out at Leverkusen is because he knows Ancelotti will leave by next year. And you've been seeing Bayern Leverkusen doing insane last minute comebacks this whole season. So that thing of Zabi combined with already a Madrid juju of coming back in the last moment, it's going to be insane. So that's a match made in heaven for Madrid, right? A coach who specializes in late minute comebacks. So which is what Zabi has been doing this. So
Yeah.
yeah, both of them will continue to dominate in the years to come.
Yeah. So, anyways, like closing remarks, I think Xavi might stay one more season with Leverkusen to see what they can do in the Champions League. And like you said, probably Madrid seems ominous. He can do it there as
Yeah,
well.
because it's very Ancelotti leaves next season. He gets more one. Zabi gets one more season to show what he can do in the UCL, and
Yeah.
then go to Madrid, which is also a former club of his. So it's perfect for him.
Exactly. The other fixture on the same night, Bayern Munchen versus Arsenal. What are your first thoughts? Like,
I think everyone's first thought was that Arsenal's going to lose badly,
yeah,
and that was a little misjudged because yeah, I know history goes against Arsenal. Bayern have thrashed them, but two things. It's not Arsenal is not Arsenal 2015, and Bayern is also not Bayern 2015. Right?
exactly. Yeah.
Arsenal have grown stronger. They have been in insane form, while Bayern have just grown weaker over the years.
Yep.
So that is a misjudged, and even I misjudged that. I thought, yeah, history, whatever. So Arsenal will just be rolled over by Bayern, but that obviously happened. That was, and I think Arsenal scored first, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think
Was
Arsenal
it?
scored
Yeah,
first, then
yeah,
Bayern scored
Saka.
twice. Yeah.
Yeah, both the matches had a similar pattern. Team scores first, the other team scores second, twice, and the other team scores twice
Then
again.
yeah, they came back. Yes.
So again, yeah, again, Saka scored in like within 10 minutes, and we're like, oh damn, Arsenal's gonna do well, right? And I think Arsenal did do well for the first 35 minutes, and they did kind of do well after that also, except one silly mistake, but I don't know how to pronounce square Kwair, which is
QVR.
yeah, Jacob Choir, right? I don't know how it's
Yeah, yeah,
pronounced.
him.
Yeah, you get my point, right? And he was the one who gave away the penalty, right?
Yes.
And that is where it turned because see, Bayern might not be Bayern of 2015, but it's Harry Kane taking a penalty against Arsenal. There is no way he's gonna miss.
Yeah.
This is not the World Cup. This is not the World Cup.
Yeah.
It's Harry Kane versus Arsenal taking a penalty that too. First of all, Harry Kane loves scoring against Arsenal and he loves scoring penalties against Arsenal. I think
Yeah.
8 or 9 of his last 15 goals against Arsenal have been penalties. So they equalized, and that's the thing with Bayern. If you let them in, they will come back in, right? And that is what happened. They scored again. It went 2-1, and I thought, damn, Bayern gonna win it. But as is the pattern with this whole night, Arsenal. Who scored the second goal for Arsenal?
Wait a minute. Let's see.
Yeah, we need to clarify before giving wrong facts. No?
Was it Odegaard? I don't know.
It's not Odegaard, it's not Odegaard.
Wait, I didn't have
It was, I think it was a defender, if I'm not wrong. No.
Was it? Let's check.
Oh, there were only 2 goals. Sorry. That one was 2-2. Now I remember. Okay. We were a little wrong. The Arsenal Bayern game was 2-2. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, Arsenal scored first. Kane equalized 1-1. And I feel like, oh, it's going to be interesting. Serge Gnabry 2-1.
Yes.
It goes to 2-1 into the 80th minute, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 75th minute. Till 75 minutes, it's 2-1 to Bayern Munich. And Bayern have actually improved in second half. And I am watching that match by the time because City and Madrid was just on a roll that time.
Yeah,
And
there
I'm
was
like,
some interruption if I'm not wrong. I remember
yeah,
you sent a text as well. The goal was
yeah.
scored. Then
Then
I also
yeah,
switched. Yeah.
then I'm like, wait, it's gonna end to one maybe. And then it's the clutch man for Arsenal, Trossard. Okay, I
Oh yeah.
I know it's your team, Kaushik, but I think Arsenal signing Trossard over Mudrik was the best decision they made
Yeah,
for
yeah.
them. Okay, because Trossard is an insane clutch player. He does not need to start games. He needs to come on. He needs to score, and his finishing. I think I read a tweet after the match, which I find very apt, is that you will not find two stylistically similar players than Jota and Trossard. Diego Jota from Liverpool and Trossard
Yeah.
from Arsenal. They play similarly and they have that insane habit of scoring clutch goals, and their finishing is insane. I know Arsenal have Saka, they have Odegaard, they have Martinelli, but the best finisher in Arsenal is Trossard. And something similar with Liverpool, they might have Salah, they might have Diaz, Nunes. I'm not going to talk about that. And but the best finisher of Liverpool is Jota. So Jota and Trossard play very similarly, and Trossard is the insane clutch man for Arsenal since he's joined them from Brighton, and that's what he did 2-2. And there was a contentious moment in the end which we debated about too, whether Saka
Yes.
should have gotten a penalty or not. I agree with you in retrospect. It was a 50-50. It was a
Yeah.
close call, and I think the debate was simple. In the Premier League, would have been given. In a European competition, it was never going to be given because Premier League is giving out penalties for fun, right?
Yeah.
In European matches, especially in the knockouts, the referees tend to be more, let's say, strict with it. So a 50-50 call will most likely go against the team that wants the penalty in a European night, while a similar 50-50 call will go in favor of the team that wants the penalty in the Premier
Yeah.
League.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's been the pattern. But it was 50-50. I don't think any side got an unfair advantage or it was fixed or anything. Right.
Hmm.
It could have gone other way, but Saka did dive a bit, is what I maintain.
Yeah.
It was 50-50, but Saka's did do a bit of show acting. But then I think at that point, every player will want to do that for the team. I don't fault that. Okay, it's not illegal, so to say. He at max is getting a yellow card, right? If he had
Yeah.
gotten a penalty, it would have been insanely helpful for Arsenal, of course, because he would have been the one taking it, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, imagine taking a lead back, and yeah, that would have been massive for them. Like, of course, I know this isn't the Bayern Munich that probably was a couple of years back, but it's still the same Allianz Arena. It's definitely going to be a lot. I don't know. It's the atmosphere is going to be very intense, and of course, Bayern Munich fans, they weren't allowed in the stadium. I don't know if people even sneaked out. So, I mean, sneaked in. But yeah, they will definitely want to show their support in the second game. So it's going to be tough for Arsenal. Probably their biggest fixture in the UCL this season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easily. It's
Yeah.
it's one of Arsenal's biggest fixtures in years, for to be fair, right?
Yeah. So, anyways,
And
like,
because
yeah, sorry, go
because
on.
if they win, yeah, because if they win, they're into the semis, right?
And
And
they potentially face either
yeah,
Manchester
I know
City
it's
or
a
Liverpool.
tough draw. It's a tough
Yeah.
draw, obviously. But I think if they face Manchester City, they might have a chance.
Yeah.
Because the way they've played against City this season in the league, right, is why I feel they might have a chance. I'm not saying they're going to win,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they might have a chance against City. So the thing with Madrid is it's very unpredictable, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you know they'll win, sometimes you know you lose, but I'm pretty confident if Madrid were to face Arsenal, Arsenal will not win. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, I think they can show a fight for probably one leg, parts
Obviously,
of
Arsenal,
1.5 legs.
unlike what people on Twitter like to believe, Arsenal are not going to roll over to anyone anymore. This is not 2016. It's not 2015.
Yeah.
It is 2024. It's Arteta having reached a prime, so to say, and they have insane players. So even if they lose, it's not them. They're not going to be humiliated 8-2, 7-2 again.
Yeah,
It's going to be a
exactly.
close
That's not going to
match,
happen.
of course.
No.
Even the second leg, even if they are knocked out in the second leg, it won't be a rollover for Bayern. It's not like I don't think
Yeah.
Bayern are like, we're going to win 5. No, it'll be close.
Exactly. So the thing is, I've always seen at least last 1 2 years, we've had one side of the draw that's very very competitive. The same this year as well. Of course, like I'm not saying the other side is not competitive, but in
No,
comparison to
obviously,
this, yeah,
there is a the first set of fixtures we talked about right now, the ones you talked about is obviously the tougher side of the draw. right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because let's say a team, let's say Manchester City, first they have to defeat Madrid, then they have to defeat either Bayern or Arsenal, and then the finalist. Let's say compare it to Barcelona. I'm not saying defeating PSG is easy, but it's PSG in UCL has always been sus, right? And
I
even
mean,
if
they
they
did
win,
defeat PSG.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
over the 2 legs, obviously. I'm saying
Yeah, of
qualifying,
course.
right?
Yeah.
Even if they go through, they face either Atleti or Inter. Again, not easy fixtures, but comparing it to facing either City or Madrid, for
Exactly.
example, for Arsenal, it is slightly easier, and that's what has happened every year. I don't remember last year, but in 2022, I will admit that Liverpool probably had the easiest side of the draw. We had a semi-final against Porto, while the other semi-final was City versus Madrid. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not saying Porto were some pushovers, and they did do well in the first leg, but it's obviously a City versus Madrid fixture is going to be more tougher than a Liverpool Porto fixture, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
But
that's
anyways,
always there.
moving on to the other half of the day, we'll quickly do this so that we can get to the Liverpool fixture. PSG, of course. The Let's first finish the Atletico game. Of course, Atletico
Yeah,
did well.
it's
They
going to be
scored
shorter
twice.
because
Yeah,
yeah, because I don't think any of us watched that very seriously. I mean, I did
yeah.
watch it,
I did see the
and
highlights.
yeah, and
So
it's
the
not a
only thing,
disrespect to either team, obviously, but it's just that Barca PSG man, come on,
yeah,
you
of
know.
course, yeah, of course. No, the only thing with respect to Atletico's fixtures that I read was Simeone hasn't lost a knockout game at their home stadium at all, like in UCL. So that was like a record that probably like how since you're wearing it's apt you're wearing the Chennai Super Kings jersey, like how Chepak is a fortress. It's definitely a fortress for them in the knockouts, and like as expected, they did go well. They in the first half they had 2 goals. I think Borussia pulled one back, but I think in the second leg we'll have to see how well
Yeah,
they
I
can.
think what I like about Atletico this season is that people have that preconceived notion that Atletico Simeone defensive 5-4-1 5-4-1,
Exactly.
right? He has not been like that this season. So I watched a bit of La Liga too. I mean, mainly when Atletico have played Madrid or Barcelona or Girona this season, obviously. Atletico, I'm not saying there's some counter pressing fluid attacking team, but there has not been the Atletico of the past who'll just park the bus and hope it goes well. Atletico, by their standards, have been attacking pretty well, and I think it might have to do something with Griezmann. Obviously, Griezmann. Uh, I don't know what happened to him at Barca, but Griezmann is an insane player. We saw that at
Yeah.
World Cup too, as France's uh, hybrid role. Griezmann plays that hybrid role. He'll be in the midfield, he'll be deep, he'll be an attacker, he'll be the front man, he'll be everything, right? But yeah, the one thing I've noticed at Atletico this season is that they have not been as defensive as they've been in the past, and I'm really glad about that because uh, that's there to see. The results are there to see. I mean, La Liga, yes, but then La Liga is La Liga. Atletico is not. It's
I
not.
mean,
It's
the
never
few
easy for them.
points I think off Girona, but I think they can probably
Yeah,
push.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's Madrid and Barca, right? So
yeah.
obviously, but yeah, I said they dominated the first half. They slipped a bit in the second half, but I
I
think they'll go
mean,
through.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
I
Like
think
even
they'll
if
go.
if it was a draw, I think probably in the next leg they can.
Yeah, because
But let's
Dortmund have that gene of bottling, right? We know.
yeah,
So they bottled the Bundesliga badly last season, and I think that's what
yeah,
will happen again. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy for Atleti, but I think they'll go through,
they'll go through.
right?
Yeah,
And again, Atletico Madrid, Griezmann has
exactly.
Griezmann might not be the one scoring the goals, but
But
he's their engine, so to say, right? As
yeah,
you say, he's their engine
so
who is dictating play. Yeah,
whoever goes through, they potentially face Paris Saint Germain or FC Barcelona. Now this game was also pretty interesting
insane, insane.
because like we thought PSG will roll over FC Barcelona, but that
Okay,
wasn't the case.
I didn't think that. Just to clarify, okay.
Oh,
I
okay,
I, I
fine.
mean I thought that PSG will win. I'm
Win.
not denying
Okay.
that. Okay, but and I didn't think Barca is good or something. I just thought PSG is not that good anymore. Okay, which got proven by the way. I thought it'll be a tough game, which it was a tough game for both teams to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, Barca had a clutch performance. Rafinha scored 2 goals, which is
Not the
very good
first
for him
time.
after being criticized all over the
Yeah.
season, right? So I see a lot of similarities in Rafinha and Anthony. I mean, Rafinha is way better, yes, but you get the point. So,
Yeah, not the
go
first
on.
time a Brazilian has scored 2 goals against PSG for Barca.
Yeah,
But those
yeah.
they are dreaming. They're thinking probably they could. But let's see. Yeah, but I think like next leg Barcelona can make it through. I think like they
Yeah,
can.
because if you talk about the PSG Barca game, I think Barca scored first with Rafinha, and I knew PSG is going to equalize. Okay, because Barca's defense has been sus even in the La Liga. That is the only reason they don't have more points in the group because the attackers have been decent, the midfielders have been decent. For a team that relied on the defense last season to win the La Liga, their defense has been, not that good this season. Which is,
Yeah.
and I'll put it a little bit on Zavi. Okay, he's been tinkering a lot in the defense, not playing the players at the best position. Like Arrow has been playing right back often when he's obviously better at centre back, for example. But I guess that's also a result of Barca just not having enough money to get more players. Okay, he's forced to play players he has. He cannot get more players. So
He's giving me
good
a
for him.
notice period manager. I mean, notice period employee vibes. But
I
anyways,
mean, that can be true for Tuchel also, but he's not been
yeah,
giving those vibes to be fair.
exactly.
Right.
So
So yeah, Rafinha scored, and I'm like, PSG is gonna make a comeback, and obviously it had to be Osman Dembele. Okay. And if you see Twitter, if you see Instagram, Barca fans are so angry that Dembele celebrated against them. Okay.
yeah,
I get their point because Barca literally coddled Dembele for 6 years. He was in hospital for the half of it, right? They
yeah,
gave him full support. There was that one match. You see those reels I've sent. This is one match that they all came out wearing Dembele's name on the jerseys
exactly. Just show
as
show
a
support.
support. Yeah, because he had a long term injury. I get all that, but to me, that concept of players not trying celebrating against their former teams, I
It's
get the emotion, but it's not as if they will like, I won't score only. No, so it's fine. Yeah,
my
he did go over the top. I get that.
yeah. No, my only thing is like, see, if the club was good to you, then yes, probably don't have to. That's a mark of
Yeah, I
respect. If
think
you
I
think
think
that
the
wasn't the
reason,
case, then yeah,
I think the reason Barca fans are so unhappy is because Barca treated Dembele really well, even when he was injured, right? And that is why I think they're more angry. For example, Suarez scored against Liverpool and celebrated, but it was after a gap of 5 years, so that also matters, right?
okay,
Dembele has just left. He has just left.
exactly.
But that's all semantic. So Dembele is the one who equalized. Then they scored against Vitina,
Mm.
right? And I'm like, it's 2-1. Anything can happen. But
Yeah.
then
So,
Barca had,
anyways, we have
yeah,
we have Barcelona heading back home with 1 goal lead. Probably, let's see if that's helpful. But we have 3 minutes left in the meeting, which I would like to give it to you to tell about what Liverpool did versus Atlanta. Of course, I
I did.
remember Ambarish, like just before you start, I remember him talking in the previous episode. He was telling, I didn't remember, I didn't even know you're playing Atlanta. It was like, if we do this versus Atlanta, it's going to be, it won't work. That's what he said. It just happened like that. So go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can give.
So you asked me what we did against Atlanta. We did nothing. We did nothing. Okay. Okay. On a serious note, it's a similar. Okay. The major root of the problem is similar to what has been haunting us for the past 2 months. We just cannot finish. I know we lost by a huge margin. We lost 3-0. We were like, 3-0, how can I talk about finishing? But if we had finished at even two of the 10 chances we missed, it would have been 3-2. Going 3-2 is better than going 3-0, right? That's the
Yeah.
point. Going when it's two-legged match. So our finishing is absolutely atrocious. It's everyone's forgotten to finish. Salah had come on, he was bad again. Jota was very active, especially considering that he just came back from injury. But how much could he do in just 10 minutes, right? But but the thing that hurt me the most as a Liverpool fan was that after a point, I think we gave up, and that's not like Liverpool to give up. We went 1-0 down. I was not that worried because it's been a pattern season that we'll just come back from behind, win it, blah 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 blah, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That was in the
We
first half.
went to yeah, we went 1-0 down at 38th minute. In the 60th minute, okay. So when you go down, when you come into the second half, you're supposed to be better right, if you're down. We were not. We were too casual. It looked like we were underestimating Atlanta. which is not a good sign because A, Atlanta has been doing well, and B, it's a European night, it's a European knockout match. You cannot underestimate your opponent in any case. Even after 1-0 down, we were underestimating our opponent. We were just too casual. Costas Tsekemas was not running. Van Dijk at times was too casual. He was jogging. So we were too casual. We gave away a second goal. But even 2-0 down with the second leg is salvageable. But after we went 2-0 down, we just gave up. I saw we just gave up. The subs didn't work. The players were not running. They, I thought at least play for Klopp, man. At least play for Klopp's last season. They did not do that. We gave up. We considered a third. And as soon as I considered a third, I know it's over because every time we cannot do a corner taken quickly, 4-0. It, especially now, we lost at home. You have to face them at their home ground. And Atlanta at home is never easy. I don't think we'll win 4-0 against them at their home. That's highly improbable. So,
I mean, the only saving grace I think for Liverpool could be that like you can score 3 goals, there's no away rule, no, and probably take it extra time. 3 is possible.